Duran Premium Cigars, one of the fastest-growing boutique cigar companies, provides smokers a portal into the old Cuban tradition of the perfect balance and the lost art of progressive flavor construction. Roberto Pelayo Duran began his career in tobacco over 2 decades ago in Havana, where his reputation grew within Cuban circles. The creation of Duran Premium Cigars has given Roberto the platform to introduce a series of cigars that offer the quality and construction that he perfected while in Cuba. Brands include the ultra-premium Roberto P. Duran signature line, Azan, Nea, and Baracoa. Duran uses a seed-to-humidor approach, as all of their tobacco is grown in their farms and rolled in their factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. Rollers have been carefully chosen to carry out Roberto's precise method to ensure progressive flavor in each cigar. Duran Premium Cigars invites you to make their premium your standard.
Welcome back to the Stogie Geeks Show. I am your host this week, Joe Hozempa, with the co-host, Joe D. Next segment, we're going to talk about our Stogies of the Week. We have a interesting cast of characters here today. To my left, we have Dan from Kristoff, and we have Jason Richards, and we have Jimmy Birchfield from Classic Entertainment and Sports. For all things Jimmy Birchfield, Classic Entertainment and Sports, you can go to cesmma.com or cesboxing.com. We have an actual fighting promoter who has been doing it for over 25 years. He's celebrating his 25th anniversary. He successfully launched boxing, not only here in the Ocean State, but all the way down across the country. Numerous amount of fighters. He does remember the glory days when you can have cigars on location. He is a cigar enthusiast right now, so as well. So if you have any questions for Jimmy Birchfield or the staff here, you can email joeh@stogiegeeks.com, and we will read your question here on the air. That is joeh@stogiegeeks.com. Even after the podcast, if you have any questions, I will forward them over to Jimmy, and we'll make sure that you do get a response. However, if you watch this on Wednesday and you email us, you're not going to get any response till after Saturday, because he has a huge event going on, as do some other shop owners. There's a huge super fight there. We're talking all things boxing and MMA here with the in regards to the Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather extravaganza. And this event here is happening over at Foxwoods. I will post this on our Facebook page. Jimmy will talk a little bit about the event. You'll be able to see live boxing before the actual Conor McGregor fight versus Floyd Mayweather, and then obviously you'll be able to see that fight on the big screen at Foxwoods Resort and Casino. So Jimmy, thank you for joining us, especially this week. I was a little hesitant in asking you to come this week because I know it's a big week for you.
Joe, anytime you call me, I'll be here.
All right, as long as we give you cigars, you're good. Right?
Cigars, my man there, he represents my favorite cigar, and actually, we're looking for a sponsor for Saturday night for cigars. But
you can't do cigars at Foxwoods, can you now? Or?
They got certain areas you can.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there is a last bastion of hope.
Yeah.
somewhere there. Want to take the time out. Obviously, you have in the previous segment, you've had alluded to the fact of the hype of MMA, how it's a little bit more participatory than boxing. Why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, since we've launched the MMA division, what we wanted to do and what we've worked hard to do is let both sports, this is one world versus another world. That's why I'm excited about this. And I want McGregor to fight his heart out, because in Mayweather to fight and not be dancing and holding, because he's got all that ring generalship. He knows how to do all of that. As I said earlier, he promised that's not going to happen, because he owed to the boxing fans, he owed since the Pacquiao fight, he owes them something good. And he said, you're going to see something good Saturday night. So we're excited about that. What I think is, analyzing this, we talked about Rose on a Patuxent. We talked about Rocky Point Palladium. I go back, and it brings so many memories. But to have some of my fighters that I made world champions or got them to the highest peak they could get to, now I have their their children fighting for us. As I said, Scott Pemberton's son is going to be making his pro debut Saturday night at beautiful Foxwoods Casino. Prince Ray Oliveira's son's going to be fighting at Twin River Casino on September 16th against an undefeated Connecticut fighter by the name of David Wilson. This is what I see different. MMA is a much younger crowd. If you talk to young kids, they know all the MMA fighters. They know them all well. If you talk to some boxing people, they don't know who the heavyweight champion of the world is. So we've been trying, and that's something, this crossover, for Saturday night show at Foxwoods Casino to be something tremendously excited, because bring a lot of excitement. We need the MMA people to buy in. Mm-hmm. They got to be there. We got the boxing people. Mm-hmm. The boxing people are going to be there. We need the MMA people to buy in. Mm-hmm. If they believe in MMA, then come and support McGregor. And I'd love in these emails, you know what, Joe?
Yeah.
You said after Wednesday I wouldn't answer. I'll answer anything. This is my business.
I was just being respectful
No,
for your time.
I don't care. What I do and why my success is because I work at it. I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is what I do. So never don't I have time to answer someone or to do anything that I have to do to make things right. Mm-hmm. So I'll be available at any time. Okay. But I want to say that what I have seen is, we have a fighter by the name of Luis Felix that has done some boxing too. And Luis Felix is a great fighter. I think we're going to bring Gary Tiger Boletto's son to the moon. Mm-hmm. And he changed his nickname. He's Gary Batman Boletto. Mm-hmm. And I said, why Batman? He said, well, what do you know about Batman? Batman don't know how to lose. He don't lose. so
I love it.
He said, that's why my nickname's Batman.
Right.
I'll always be Gary Tiger Boletto's son.
Of course.
But now I have. So it was brought to my attention that our last MMA fight at Twin River Casino on August the 11th was a great show. But up on the top was a heavyweight fighting for the heavyweight championship, CES. So I'm going to say the same thing that the UFC says. We fought for the world championship, heavyweight, okay? The CES's world championship. And our champion got beat. Mm-hmm. And he got beat by a Brazilian who's trained in Boston right now. Great kid. And he wore Gooch right down. We kidded a little bit, the president had a guy that lasted a couple of days. Wasn't it Gooch? What was his nickname? He was the media guy or something.
Scaramucci or whatever.
Yeah, that's him.
I try not to talk politics, sex, or religion.
No.
Especially in cigar shops.
But we kind of tied that in a little bit.
Yep.
But so now, damn, I said, before I end what I got to do here, I got to make a heavyweight champion of the world on the boxing side, as long as the MMA side, as well as the MMA side. Mm-hmm. So I searching daily and moving and all over the world, because we are not just a Rhode Island company.
Sure.
Rhode Island is our base, Providence is our base, but we do fights all over the world. I mean, I had a Polish heavyweight by the name of Maurice Rock, who in 3 fights we got him to fight Klitschko for the world championship in Germany with 80,000 people there. Mm-hmm. We lost the 12-round decision. So now I believe that we got a real deal here. Mm-hmm. And it fits Rhode Island, New England, like tremendous. He's from the region of Carita, Sicily. Mm-hmm. He's Italian. He's 6'4.5", almost 6'5". His name is Giuseppe Angelo Cusimano, and his AKA is Rocky, because he's a big fan of Rocky Marciano's. He can't compete with Rocky's record because Rocky never got beat, and he's got 1 split decision loss. So we got him fighting Saturday night at Foxwoods Casino, and hopefully that goes okay. We're going to bring him right back to Twin River Casino on September 16th. We're very excited about his career.
Mm-hmm. Dynamics, Jay.
Yes.
Let's bring it into Conor and Mayweather. The dynamics of the fight. How do you picture the fight going down?
I picture the fight as Floyd Mayweather beating him in 6-7 rounds, and I think Conor McGregor is going to be frustrated as a fighter you've ever seen in your life.
Mm-hmm. You don't think that Floyd could get into that defensive mode that he always gets into, and
Floyd
make it
will,
make it in an uninteresting fight?
I like to call
Especially
Floyd's style technical, not defensive, but
it's I don't know. I think
he's technical.
If Conor starts to press Floyd, I think Floyd, because I don't want to downgrade his defensive mechanism. It's defensive. He counterpunch. He scores points. He doesn't prone himself to put himself on the line to get hurt. So from a fighting perspective, that could draw a decision because you're still scoring points. Oh, by all means, jump in.
I really wanted a diehard MMA fan here.
I honestly,
really wanted someone who believes in McGregor.
Jimmy, dynamic-wise,
Yeah.
since day one, not for the show. I have said it on this show. I've said it on my radio show. I've said it in every single cigar shop. People think I am absolutely positively off my rocker. I have McGregor in 8.
Okay, so listen.
But I have reasons why.
Okay, so that's good, and you can.
This is where the dynamics come in.
You can give them reasons. Okay. In my estimation, who else could market themselves and get them promoted like McGregor has? Who else could get a $75 million payday?
Well, he's the guy.
And what every fight that Mayweather's had. Listen, here's what happened. A fella calls the office. We got some platinum seats. You're on the ring Saturday night at Fox. Actually, you're in the ring. Mm-hmm. Okay? Then you get premier seats for the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. This guy has been a fan of boxing and everything, and a friend of mine. He's bought tickets. If I went to Alaska and did an event, he would come. Mm-hmm. And the other day I said, listen, we got 6 platinum seats left. No, I don't want to go. I said, well, because they're $325 each. Yep. I said, well, is it the price? He says, Jimmy, I don't care about the price. I just don't think that after I bought and went and see a Mayweather fight Pacquiao, I'm just turned off. Sure. So I said to him, well, you don't think McGregor has any chance at all? He's never got beat standing up.
Right.
Okay. He can punch. Mm-hmm. Okay. When is the last time you really seen Mayweather get hit?
Right.
Zab Judah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, but okay, but.
No, put it in that.
Madonna or Zab Judah, right?
Zab Judah, Mosley.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a couple years ago. That's
okay.
What, that's
so now you have
ago?
a fight. Now you have a fighter that's 41 years old. Mm-hmm. I think you just seen something. It's a little different. It's maybe a lot different. But Bernard Hopkins, no one in any sport has taken care of their body like Bernard Hopkins.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, everything you could. There's no toxic anything in that guy, and he fought a kid that was under contract with us, Irish Joe Smith, who actually just got beat, but he looked so bad. I felt bad for him. He couldn't get. I don't know if anyone's seen that fight.
Sure.
He couldn't get off. His legs were gone. I think in an athlete in boxing or MMA, the last thing that goes is their punch.
Right.
Okay. And consequently, I'm saying to talk a little bit about what you said on how you think the fight's going to go is, okay, so when is it last time that you really seen Mayweather get roughed up, get really mauled?
Compromised positions.
Yeah, to get mauled. When did you see that?
Right.
You're going to see that Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I think McGregor should take a couple of situations where he's going to get a point taken away from him. Mm-hmm. But he's got to maul him. And Mayweather, as I said earlier in the earlier session, I said that Mayweather promised his fans that he's coming to fight. The best thing that could happen for the sport of boxing and MMA is for it to be a good fight. Mm-hmm. That's the best thing that could happen. It doesn't matter who's going to win. What matters is that people are going to get their money's worth. Mm-hmm. That's what matters. So the event we're doing, you're going to get more than your money's worth. You're going to see 8 live fights, and then you're going to see the pay-per-view fight. So that's why we're excited. And, I really wanted to get and get a post up where we can get someone who really knows MMA and someone who really knows boxing, and it could be an athlete. It could, and let them talk, let them bang it away.
Yeah.
And let them say why. But if we have too many people saying that McGregor don't have a chance at all, then we're all wasting our time.
I think McGregor has an extremely big chance against Floyd, and the reason being is when I talk about fight dynamics, right? Now, from my experience alone, okay, I've only boxed in the gym, and I've only boxed like boxing gym versus boxing gym, so I never did it at Jimmy's level at all. But from my experience alone, I used to box for Rhode Island Boxing. We would box against Coventry Boxing. We box against Grundy's. We box against Sempalas. We're doing that. We have the headgear on. We're doing our thing. Box gym against boxing gym. A lot of fun. Then I joined Elite MMA after Tiny passed it in 2004. I stayed with the boxing gym for about another year. In about 2005, 2006, I got into MMA myself. Again, same level. I joined Elite MMA in Pawtucket, trained under Manny Neves, again, who passed, but, trained under him. And let me tell you something. From going straight boxing to going to MMA, just at my level, I was completely like a fish out of water, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Completely like a fish out of water.
Do you ever think of making a comeback?
I'd pay for that.
I'm 40.
$100 pay-per-view. Let's do it.
Wait, Joe, we could sell some tickets.
Heavyweight, right? You need a heavyweight
but wait,
fighter.
one of the things you said in your boxing days, remember you had an edge because you had Tiny Richie in your corner.
And I got to do sparring with Vinny, which
right.
after you sparred with Vinny, anybody you fought for like a week,
and then when
it was
Manny,
like smoking a Davidoff. Anything you smoke after that, like,
and
it's
then
ruined.
then with Manny Neves, you had is just as equal as a person in the MMA world.
Yeah.
So that was all good stuff.
Yeah, and then you had some tough kids in Pawtucket, and it was great. But just from, like, I actually went to a separate Kempo school just to learn the kicks and everything. Now, I know you can't use kicks. Jay has a stance where I'm going to go with the boxer who is in the boxing ring because of the rules. But even when I resulted...
fighting style, not so much rules.
Sure, but even when I resulted to the bread and butter, which was striking, I was still a fish out of water. Just the angles that Khan is used to.
So, Jay...
That's the edge.
So, Jay, tell me something.
Yes.
What edge do you think with the smaller gloves, what edge does that give to who?
I believe the edge it goes slightly to Mayweather even still. His punches are only going to be faster and they're only going to be stronger. Conor McGregor's used to 4-ounce gloves, which are almost nothing. MMA gloves are almost nothing. And so any way you look at it, Conor McGregor is going to be using heavier gloves, no matter how it goes. And his striking power, his striking distance is going to be taken up more. When you hit somebody with an MMA glove, it's this. That's it. You put a boxing glove on, it expands the range.
Well, I'm sure it also, even though the MMA gloves are smaller, it still levels the playing ground by coming to a 10-ounce to an 8-ounce.
It does, a little bit.
And basically, I feel that it gives the edge to McGregor. Now, I don't think Mayweather is he's not a devastating puncher that knocks you out with one punch.
No.
Okay? He gets to you.
Scores.
He scores, but I see McGregor has that. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it in boxing. I don't know if Floyd's going to give him because, he's still got the movement. I don't know if we're going to see, because what I have found in boxing, when someone says to me, when do you retire a fighter? When I think that the fighter doesn't have anything and he's only... This is a tough sport, whether it's boxing or MMA. You got to think, God, in a situation when that fighter walks up into the ring, that they take their life. And we just had an unfortunate accident locally in Massachusetts with an MMA fighter, and it was a fatality. So this is not a sport that you play games at. whether it's MMA or boxing, and that's why it's great. I don't have any problem with regulators because listen, we never have a fight. These are things that people don't know. You got to get your fighter all medical. If they see any little thing that they may want an MRI because they don't like, and most of these fighters don't have health benefit or anything, so the promoter has to pay for all of that stuff. But basically, now you go fast forward. It's 8 weeks, 10 weeks. You've been promoting this fight, and you now get to the weigh-in, the official weigh-in, which we will have Friday, and the public's invited at Foxwoods Casino. That's one more final medical test that the doctor does. If you're high, listen, some kids, your pressure might be high, and you're not going to fight. So you could get to that fight right there with Mayweather and McGregor. They still have to go through that. Yeah. You don't have a fight until them two fighters are walking up the stairs into the ring or cage. Yep. That's when you have a fight. Listen, I had a girl which trained at Rhode Island Boxing that I'm sure Joe remembers, Jamie the Hurricane Clamper.
Oh, yeah.
She was a
sweetheart. She's awesome.
She was a 5-time world champion. And
huge following, too.
Yeah, we fought at Foxwoods Casino.
She fought Mia St. John, too.
Yeah, we fought
locally.
Mia.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And Mia St. John, by the way, is a promoter now.
Really?
Yeah, we do some business with her.
Okay.
But actually, Jamie's opponent comes in. We fly her in from, I forget, California. Jamie has sold 350 tickets at Foxwoods Casino. It's the night before the weigh-in. And they do a test. The girl's pregnant. Her opponent's pregnant.
Game changer.
Huh?
Game changer.
Game changer.
Big time.
Yeah.
So if you don't have, now it's not doing anything that's wrong, but if we don't stand for our brand that we try to do things right, the commission allowed me to find another opponent and gave me 10 hours to do it.
Wow.
And we did. We paid through the nose.
Sure.
And so now, no matter how long you've been doing this business, you're always going to get new things that happen like that. We had two fighters, the Melody Tent in Hyannis. There'd never been a professional fight over there in 20-something years. We got Kippy Top Cat Diggs fighting Ralph Chapwick. They're both undefeated. All right, and they telling me they're going to sell the arena out. It's about 4,000 people. The day of the fight, we got like 40 tickets sold. We're going to lose about $85,000 on the event. And the Melody Tent was something like the Warwick Musical Theater. Yeah. It was in the round.
Yep.
So we had to get piers like this off the stage to support the ring. And I kind of was always skeptical about that, but I sent the crew down there with the ring. I said, let's do a dry run, put the ring up. It cost me like $1,000 to do it. They said everything's fine. We get, beside the 40 tickets sold, the ring won't fit on the stage. To this day, I think I got sabotaged. Right, so I want to make this quick because I know we're short on time. Okay. So now,
great stories, man.
But this is a great story. One of my best stories ever in this business. But I can write a book this big. But anyway, I'm saying, and it's a hot summer day in the Cape, in Hyannis, Melody Tent. I'm thinking we're going to lose $85,000. The ring won't go up. I got a good friend of mine from down at the Cape. He reminds me of myself when I had the Classic Restaurant. He's got 5 restaurants on the Cape. His name is Dave Colombo. He gets a lumberyard to open up, gets a truck. We got to get all new plywood. I'm up as the promoter of this event. I'm up there with a skill saw, cutting the plywood, putting everything down. I'm soaking wet. And I feel a tap on the back of me like that, and it's the custodian of the Melody Tent. He said, Mr. Birchfield, I got a good idea. I said, what's that? He said, I think you should cancel the event. I chased him with the skill saw right off the stage. And so finally, now they have all kind of rules over there that everything has to be set an hour before the show and everything. We're nowhere ready. Now I got to call my bank because I need to get transferred money to pay everybody. I don't have enough money to do what we have to do that night. Get everything set. Of course, this goes back maybe 23, 22 years ago, something like that. And we're not technically savvy as we are now then.
Right.
So I'm up with after I got everything. So all they got to do is put the ropes up. So I'm soaking wet. I get the ring announcer say, listen, make sure that our cigar sponsor gets a good plug here. And I had no script written.
Right.
Here comes the general manager of the Melody tent walking up the stairs, and he goes, Mr. Birchfield, we got a problem.
What now, right?
I said, what could be the problem? He said, there's a skunk under the ring. I said, what? You got to be kidding me. He said, no, there's a skunk under the ring. I walked down, and here's the pole that you got on this side, and there's the skunk right underneath there. And now he's an Ivy League guy, went to Harvard and everything. He's got this Ivy League sweater on and everything. You got to picture this now.
I have a good visual.
Get the visual on it. I said, Vince, do you have a gun? He says, why? No. I said, why? I said, I'm going to shoot the skunk. He said, no, you can't do that. We have the animal.
Peter here, right?
I said, well, it's always good to read. And I remember when I was young, I read that if you cover a skunk with something dark, it'll go to sleep. So I said, do you have a dark canvas? He said, Jimmy, you chased my custodian with the saw. He threw the keys. He quit. I don't even have the keys to the toolbox.
Right.
So he gets it open. There's a black canvas in there. I go down on my hands and knees. And I figure any minute that it's going to explode. And I cover the skunk. Now, picture this. You still can't, in other words, this is not anchored. Mm-hmm. So if a fighter comes against these ropes, and because you've been there, the ropes are going to go like this.
Yep.
Okay? So the fighters must have thought I was nuts. When they were coming down to enter the ring, I said, hey, don't go up against these ropes like this. But now I'm looking at the arena, and the arena's filling up. I said, we call it paper a room. In other words, if you don't sell it out, you can't make it look bad, so you got to give the tickets away.
Yep.
So you paper the room.
Right.
We call all our friends, we call anybody, and fill the room up.
Asses in the seats,
I'm hoping I haven't done that too many times.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I said, I never gave permission here to paper the room. Vinny Paz is outside. They won't let him in. The room is sold out. I took a peek after and went out. The walk up was
man.
but are you familiar with Hyannis at all?
Yeah.
Well, I had kids out with signs like this walking around. I mean, we worked hard to get it was one of our most successful events that we ever did.
Because you never gave up.
Never gave up.
With a tremendous
What'd you do with the skunk? Right quick. What'd you do with the skunk?
Guess what? The next night Tom Jones was there. The skunk went up on the stage. Okay? So, no, the skunk slept all night.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Now,
So the skunk slept underneath the fights.
This and a couple of the fighters asked me after, we couldn't figure. Now, I could get in trouble for this, but I might as well say it. So, the commission's got to check the ring.
Yeah.
But I had gotten them some spaghetti and meatballs they were eating. So.
So you're all set. Right? So what do you think about fight dynamics?
So, we're asking, is there going to be a McGregor guy here? Well,
Yeah.
here I am, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
You got two McGregor guys here. Sure.
For me, you can look back, and we've had these conversations before.
Mm-hmm.
This is going back probably 13. First time I saw McGregor fight was Dustin Poirier.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this dude's going to be a star. He has the look, he has the attitude, he has the willpower.
Yep.
And he's got, different sport. He's got the touch of death, man.
Poirier is no slouch.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite
All
fighters.
these guys, you can look back for the last 4 or 5 fights. Poirier, Diaz, Alvarez, Aldo. everyone's always said he's just got a left hand. He's just got a left hand. He's just got one. But they all go down. When he hits them, they fall.
Yeah.
You know, and
he's never got beat standing up.
That's such a tremendous point.
Right.
correct. And their attitude changes after they fight him. They don't talk the same kind of trash. Obviously, this is a different sport. We're boxing. We're not
You don't have
MMA.
to like him. You got to respect him.
And I think that when this fight happens, you're going to see McGregor in some stances that are going to be different. If McGregor stands in the pocket and boxes Floyd Mayweather, arguably the greatest fighter of all time, he's going to lose.
For sure.
But he's not going to do that.
Right.
I think that with his unorthodox style, one, he's a southpaw, which Mayweather's had the most problem with in his career, even though he's never lost. Also, he's not going to stand like a traditional boxer because he doesn't have those tendencies.
Right.
Those different looks. Yep.
I think, realistically, McGregor's probably got 5, maybe 6 or 7 things that Mayweather's never seen. But the point is he's got to make sure that he makes contact on those 6 things. Because once he throws something that he thinks is going to be different, Floyd will just, his fight IQ is so smart, it won't happen again.
Yep.
And I think for me, like you said, if he mauls him, it's going to be different. He hasn't experienced that. When we were in Vegas for the show, I booked. Let's see, I voted for.
You bet on.
I bet.
I remember you texted me the ticket.
I bet the 8th round, and I bet they had a prop bet if he'd knock him out in the first 4. I think if this fight goes past 6, you're going to a decision for Mayweather. But I'm going to take McGregor by knockout in the first 5.
So McGregor. Knockout first 5,
and then we're going to see Malignaggi.
Yep. And then
did you guys see the Malignaggi clips that Dana White posted?
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
What did you think of that?
I think Malignaggi needs to just quit crying.
Different guy, right? Different.
Just, yeah.
I agree. Different guy. What do you think of that left hand?
I want to see one other thing for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
And I also think that there are fighters that are crybabies. They get hit behind the head. I mean, you're in there, right? Floyd is a crybaby. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's why I want to see the elbows and everything else shooting out there. And I think Paulie, who's a friend of mine, I think that, maybe in knowing the sport pretty good and knowing the business part of it pretty good, is that the TV network that is going to be showing this, he works for them. Okay?
Not a coincidence.
Yeah, right.
So you think that Malignaggi's setting himself up for some action?
Oh,
afterwards?
He's smart.
Well, listen. Like I said,
He's getting a name for himself.
When Mayweather's fought outside of Pacquiao, everyone that he's fought, he's had to carry the promotion.
Yep.
Okay, Pacquiao carried to a certain extent, but this time you got both of them. But McGregor, I've never seen anyone in this sport of boxing or MMA actually persevere and promote himself. So he deserves this payday.
Look at the pay-per-view buys he's brought in,
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. And on the UFC side, they haven't seen this part of the boxing part of this business.
Right.
Okay? So consequently, it's been an effort, a joint effort by them to come and get it done. Because I think that if someone else was maybe bugging Mayweather, maybe he wouldn't have come out of retirement. All right? But, I'll tell you about Mayweather. I have a former chef of mine, Barry Daycake, that is at the Palms restaurant. He's a good friend of Mayweather's. Mayweather goes there all the time to eat. It's a steakhouse, 10. It's called 10. If you ever go to Vegas, you got to go there. But Mayweather was there 5-6 months ago, and Barry makes him something to eat and stuff. And Floyd said, I want the tab. He says, yeah, I get the tab. No, I want the tab for the whole place. He picked up the tab for the whole place. Bar, everything. I mean, this is an expensive restaurant.
Sure.
God knows what the heck the tab was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, he still, he flies. And listen, McGregor now is flying in a private jet. I read an article the other day that I guess his wife is, he he feels a lot safer when she's around, and she takes care of a lot of the business side of things. But once in a while, once in every decade, you're going to see someone like McGregor that steps up to the plate. I mean, he just looks the part.
Yeah.
He looks mean. He's got it.
He's animated.
He's animated. I tell
he has star power.
I tell the fighters,
it takes a lot of charisma.
you can fight. You can fight. But if I tell you how to comb your hair and how to look and how to dress, well, that's part of business.
Yeah.
McGregor does it.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of charisma to wear a Gucci mink.
Exactly.
in Brooklyn,
and then come up wearing Mayweather's the number. The wife went out with the basketball. Jersey.
The Warriors jersey.
I mean, it's crazy.
He's for me, like I said, I like pro wrestling stuff. He's the perfect mix of a guy who can fight, and he never turns down a fight. And at the same time, he's got that Ric Flair attitude where it's self-promoting, it's I'm the best, and it's that willpower that's got him to the dance. Because there's a lot of great fighters in the UFC. Look at like Demetrius Johnson. Never lost, right?
Yep.
But guess what? He's not charismatic. It's a perfect mix.
Well, we got a lot of boxers the same thing. They can fight, but they don't have the charisma.
Yeah.
Right.
So you two guys, boy, would I love you to start with a post on the CES and talking about. I've been looking for two guys on the opposite that really understand the sport.
Okay.
And talk about it.
Okay.
And because I think a lot of people still don't believe in the fight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
It's days
fun.
away. It's days away.
Well, it's not sad. It's a technical abnormality. It's not normal.
Yeah.
No, I
get it.
You're a big Conor McGregor guy.
Yeah.
So do you. Conor McGregor has a shot. Mm-hmm. I'm a big boxing guy. The boxer is going to win the boxing match.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Mayweather's seen every punch from every angle and knows how to defend against it.
Yeah.
So saying that Conor McGregor is going to go in there and just maul him seems completely outrageous.
Yeah. I think
it flies in the face of 49-0.
Yeah.
It's not like Mayweather came up and never took a punch.
Oh, no.
It's not like he's never hit somebody.
But he hasn't been challenged.
But
he
hasn't been challenged lately.
Well, lately in 3 years.
And you're right. Canelo couldn't hit him.
Right. We're talking 6
Pacquiao
fights.
couldn't hit him.
Right.
All these guys who are world-class boxers could hit him. But, Conor's different. Do I think that he's,
Well, Conor is different. He's an MMA fighter.
He's a different fighter.
A horrible boxer. So, yes, you are right. It is very different. He is a horrible boxer.
So we have
Yeah,
Conor.
but that might give him a chance because he's going to be so awkward.
it's not tech. Yeah, it's not like if we're going on technique alone,
Well,
Floyd
I
will
understand what
win.
you're saying, but Floyd Mayweather, before he even turned pro, had more than 100 amateur bouts. It's not like he's never had a guy who didn't know how to throw punches at him.
But he was 20 at the time.
There you go. He's 41 now.
41.
You don't forget.
Yeah.
So when somebody throws a punch at you, you don't forget them. I promise you.
Yeah, but your body forgets a little bit.
Yeah.
Mentally, and your body forgets a little bit. Sometimes you want to make a move, but your body won't let you go quick enough.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he could come in and look like he should. As a 49-0 fighter, or is it 48?
49-0.
49-0.
He's going to the 50. This will be
For
50.
Marciano.
This will be 50.
It's like the Undertaker.
What was Marciano's record?
49-0.
49-0.
Same
Okay.
record. He would have the most most fights from an undefeated box. He'd have the most wins ever.
Yeah.
So we have McGregor.
Yep.
We have Mayweather.
Yep.
We have McGregor with me. I don't know if you want to go on record. You can say I don't, and that's fine.
No, I'm not going to go on record.
Jimmy does want to go on record. Totally understand.
I want to just see a great fight.
You want to see a great fight. I understand. Well, what do you think?
I am an absolute die-hard UFC fan. I've watched every fight from the first days. However, grew up a boxing fan, student, fan of the game, student of the game. With his boxing acumen, he has to win. He has to win. I want McGregor to win, but I feel this is Mayweather's showcase. The stage is too big for boxing. This is going to put boxing back on the map. And the winner at the end of the day is the fans of both sides.
If they fight.
If they
If
fight,
they
this
fight.
is
Yeah.
phenomenal. This is
If
what we
they
want.
fight is right.
This is what we want. This is what
Wait.
the world has been clamoring for.
And Mayweather promised that's going to happen. Now, the September 16th fight has a pay-per-view that is a great fight.
That's a great fight.
That's a great fight. And what we're doing is at Twin River, we're going to start earlier because Twin River is not going to be showing the Canelo Triple G fight. We're going to go over it. We're going to have our after party at Murphy's Law in Pawtucket, and we're going to have a private preview of so we're kind of doing the same thing we're doing with this fight, with the September 16th fight, showing the Canelo Triple G fight after.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have
Sets up
one more.
perfect for boxing.
What?
Sets up perfect for boxing.
It
when
does.
Mayweather
Well, see,
beats
that's
Conor
what-
McGregor,
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, see,
and
that-
then that Triple G Canelo fight, it sets up perfect for boxing.
That's where I'm going now. I need a 30-second answer from everyone so we can continue on to the next segment. Boxing, MMA, Floyd, McGregor. What do you think holds for the future?
For both sports?
For both. 30 seconds, like what do you think holds
I
for
think
the future?
that this is great. One, like Joe said, this is great for the fans. It's it's tough as an MMA guy. A lot of times you get the fights that you want to see. Boxing, sometimes it takes a little bit longer.
Yep.
I think it's great for boxing fans that they get to see a fight. Maybe they want to see, maybe they don't, but at least it's here. I think that for fighters in the UFC, paydays are about to go up. Because now, especially guys with star power.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's great for both sports, just for to expose some MMA fans to boxing and vice versa. And maybe some boxing fans will go, depending on how the fight goes, maybe they'll go see Conor fight or go see John Jones fight or whoever. I think it's great for both sports just to get exposed to each other, kind of get their feet wet. And I think it's been coming that this is going to merge. I'm glad that it has for everyone involved, business side and fans.
Okay. JJ?
I don't think it's going to merge at all. I think boxing fans are deep-rooted, mostly an older crowd. I think this is great for MMA. I think it'll benefit MMA more than it'll benefit boxing. Boxing has always been the big stage. Boxing has always been big money. The UFC has just now started getting to that stage, and they have stars. This is good for people like John Jones. It's good for those guys. I think boxing is it's going to be business as usual for boxing. This isn't boxing's first big payday. It's not going to be boxing's last big payday. Where I think the UFC can really benefit from what this fight's going to be, as long as Conor McGregor doesn't go in there and kick him in the head and
do an armbar or something like that.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't do anything ridiculous, it'll be really good for UFC.
Right. Okay. Mr. Birchfield?
Well, I think that the UFC and MMA, their stars and champions are supposed to be making all the money. So I don't know them factors. If they're not, they should be. So consequently, maybe this will wake up everything. I agree with Jay in a point that boxing has, its fighters like Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. Them fighters have made a lot of money. I think that they still weren't around to have a chance at making this kind of money. Okay? The thing that we need to satisfy with either sport is to satisfy the fan. And consequently, what we've been trying to do as one of the only national promotional company that has both divisions. We're so far ahead. We've got both divisions. And consequently, I think that if you see a good fight, like we're talking about with the Canelo Triple G fight coming up, and the problem is politics in boxing. Promoters will not let their fighter fight another fighter because they want to rule this or they want to rule that. What I've seen lately is that promoters have started to work together. Now, I'm talking on the boxing side now, okay? See, as far as on the MMA side, there's basically only one show in town, all right? Well, it's not like that in boxing. There's a lot of shows in town.
Right.
Okay, so that's why the UFC or Bellator, they can dictate terms. Well, we can't dictate terms in boxing because there's a lot of different components to put together. But what I've seen lately is that the promoters they want to see the best fights. You're not going to get national TV or the networks to really put their money up to see these kind of fights unless, doesn't matter if you don't promote a fighter, and it's called a provision of service that we have in boxing, but we don't have it in MMA. So if another promoter has a fighter in the boxing division that it's going to be a great fight like Canelo and Triple G, but look, and hopefully after Saturday it'll be. Nobody's even talking about that fight. That is a monster fight.
Right, I agree.
That is a monster fight.
Crazy.
Right.
Now, I don't understand why them promotional people that got them fighters are not talking about it. They shouldn't be taking a back seat. No. That fight's only September 16th. Right. And it's a great, it's a fight that you dream, as a promoter, it's a fight you dream of. I'm putting together on paper. So, we on this fight on August 26th at Foxwoods, these two catch a war. The kid Jimmy Williams fighting Kinder from Africa. That's a war. But that's the kind of fight that people want to see. They don't have the marquee name of Canelo or Triple G. So I think what's happening, no matter where you go, what you think about, maybe to loosen up on the MMA side, that you stop flexing your muscles a little bit, okay? There's competition, all right? There's other competition. If you're a fighter, you might say, I want to go with Jimmy Birchfield because he's good. He does this, he does that. But I'm not the only show in town.
Right.
So that fighter can choose who that fighter belongs. Listen, this kid comes from Sicily, okay? He came to me. He came to me because he's seen what we can do. But he also got 8 or 10 other people he could go to.
Right.
And I think it's good in the sense that you loosen up things here a little bit. There are 1 or 2 MMA companies, and not the only show in town. There's other shows in town too. And the networks have got to look at this too, and give some flexibility of other companies that also have some major MMA potential. So I'm happy about this fight. As we all talk about, the thing I wish for is one hell of a fight.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I wish for, because then I believe that it doesn't look like. I read an article yesterday. Muhammad Ali, I don't know if you guys would remember.
Yes.
He after he fought a wrestler.
Inoki.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And you know what happened. It was like a carnival act. Okay? You don't want that to happen here.
Right.
No.
Okay? And you don't want that. No matter who you root for, and when you look at this situation, really, in the experience I have in boxing, that yes, guaranteed that Mayweather looks like he's got the tools and everything to go along to teach McGregor a good lesson. Okay, he does. He has all them tools. He has all the talent. And looking at if you're looking at rating or betting on a horse, okay, you got to look at everything. So he is 41 years old. All right, no matter what, and he doesn't keep his life like Bernard Hopkins did. He likes to party. He likes to have a good time. Nothing wrong with that, okay? But this is wartime, and I'm hoping it's a war. I'm hoping the fans are happy to see this fight, and that it's good for both sports.
Joe D, what do you think for the industry?
Monster payday for the UFC monetarily and exposure. But I see boxing restored back to prominence with this fight.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, go for it. Let me ask you that question. First of all, do the listeners hear that or no? No? Okay, so there was a question asked. Can you repeat that so I can repeat that to listen? Because then Jimmy's going to answer that. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Great question. It's a question that just came in via headphones. When Muhammad Ali did the rope-a-dope and had to do his little showboating to save face at the event, what do you think that if McGregor starts to do that, what do you think Mayweather would back?
Well, who won the rope-a-dope fight?
No, Muhammad Ali won the Rumble in the
Muhammad Ali.
I know that.
Yeah.
He came in.
So he had.
Okay, I see. You're asking. I know what you're saying.
Right.
All
So
you caught us sleeping, Jimmy.
Right. Exactly. So who won that fight?
Yep.
Ali won the fight. So
if McGregor comes,
why you say McGregor has a plan? Mayweather has a plan. This is strategy. You know, boxing and this sport, it's mental. It's a tremendous amount of mental that goes into an event. Vinny Paz was great at it. He could out-psych an opponent. And a lot of, here's one situation that I have with this. If you're not excited about this fight, you should probably get excited. All right? Really. And if you are not going to Las Vegas, there should only be one place you're at, and that's at Foxwoods Casino Saturday night.
Good point, too.
To see 8 live fights and then that show. But here's my feelings with the rope-a-dope. Strategy-wise, they both are going to have a plan. And I like to always give our fighters an A, B, and C plan. When you see a fighter in the corner, a trainer can slap a fighter in the head and wake him up. I'm sure you've seen Tiny Richie do that, Joe.
Very time.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Slap you in the face and say, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
Okay. And that'll wake you up. Another fighter will you crack him right in half.
Yep.
So mentally in this game, it's big.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of like what Sugar Ray Leonard did with Marvin Hagler and people like. I mean, when you reach the talent level of that kind of talent, it just now is mental because listen, you're supposed to be in the best shape of your life. You're supposed to be able to go to rounds. You see these kids nowadays, 1 or 2 rounds, they look like they're
gassed.
Well, no, they look so good maybe 1 or 2 rounds, and then they're gassed.
Yep.
They look like the winner at the beginning of the fight, but then they're gassed. So there's no excuse for not being in shape. I don't think you're going to... I got to say one thing with Mayweather. He gets himself in great shape.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Okay? But he's hard to control with giving rules to. Whether it's his father, he's very hard to control with strategy because he feels that he can handle that. Okay? I think this other kid... He knows, listen, do you only imagine if he wins this fight where the hell he is?
Yeah.
McGregor?
Yeah.
And it isn't only, I want to say this, it's not only the sport of the UFC. They're not the only show in town, okay? This is good for MMA and boxing. And, one thing with McGregor, he could have went and do this fight himself. He didn't need the UFC.
Yep.
But he kept him in the picture. No, we couldn't do this. Dana White is manager fighting this fight. I could not do that.
Right.
In boxing, I could not do that. I could not be your manager and promoter. It's against the Muhammad Ali Act. So there's a lot. I think that I don't even think the juices are flying high enough right now.
Yeah.
I think 2 things that I'd love to see. I would love. I think that tour that they did. It couldn't have been any better.
Yep.
They did a great job, both of them, okay? I think that we should not forget the Canelo Triple G fight because that... So now let's match up with MMA and boxing. As you said, what other kind of fight in MMA is going to compare with a Triple G and Canelo fight?
Right.
They don't have one right now.
Exactly.
They don't have one
okay.
And it's definitely not lined up less than a month later.
Exactly.
Boxing did it the right way.
That's correct.
They already ran with this.
Exactly.
Whereas the MMA kind of left it alone, and it's not a good thing for them.
Well, The reason is, when you're the only show in town, you can leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because you're going good.
They're waiting for the MSG card.
You're going good. You're controlling the rankings, the fights, the everything else. But we got some great promotional companies like Top Rank, Main Events. They're great. Oscar De La Hoya does a great job. He's got a great team with him. Okay.
Yep.
So you know, and listen, we did a fight with our Hank Lundy that should be a world champion at 135 pounds, and consequently, they're great to work with. So there are some people, no matter what business you're in, that it's easy for you to work with.
Yeah.
I find that with Main Events. I find that with Top Rank. It's easy to work. If they got a fighter and we got a fighter and it's a great fight, we're going to do it.
My final take on this segment is when I first found out about this, I was like, well, you know, historically, cross-promotion of sports wasn't successfully done with a lot of hype. So there are a lot of naysayers out there. There are a lot of doubters out there. What I do like about it is that you have two people who are masters within their craft. I think both of them are charismatic enough and fit enough to perform at a level that, like Jimmy says, from his perspective, and all of us, if they perform and put on a good fight, it's going to be both great for boxing and for MMA. It's been a wild ride, even though it's only been 69 days of promotion. But
that's short for this kind of fight too.
I actually began this whole spiel with that. Like, they've only had 69 days for the camp. Right. But you know, Jimmy, I want to thank you for your historical perspective and stories. We could do a whole boxing cigar podcast on its own. You know,
I think we'll be smoking a lot of cigars.
I want to thank you for your time, and if you ever want to come back and talk about it, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dan from Kristoff, thank you for your time and perspective. Jay, thank you for your time and perspective. Don't forget, Jimmy's event is this Saturday over at Foxwoods. I will post this over on our Facebook page. And when we come back, we have the Stogies of the Week section, and we're going to check in on how we feel about the Kristoff TAA 49. Stay tuned.